talking about Oregon's win over Alabama, 83-81. Chris Childers with Rob Doster and the great Randolph Childress. And at some point, they tell me Jeff Goodman is lurking. He was at the arena tonight
He's
in
always
Vegas.
lurking.
He's lurking. We saw him lurking earlier. So at some point, we'll see his goofy face on camera talk about tonight's game. But, the question is, we have these tournaments. They're great theater. They're great drama. It's been a lot of fun. A lot of people are home from work, so they can watch this, home from school. They can really kind of, what I love about it, you can kind of cram session early on and kind of see, who's what and what's going on. And it's a great experience for the fan. From your experience, Rob, covering the sport, what have coaches said? Like, for example, tonight, what would Nate Oats say he learned about his team this week being in Vegas? And on the other end of it, what did Dana Altman learn? Are these valuable experiences that apply the rest of the year, or are they just one-off, make some money, get some TV revenue kind of things?
Well, I think Dana Altman figured out that, they're going to have a target on their back for the rest of the season. Right, like people, there's no sneaking up on anybody if you're Oregon now. People know you're coming. Like, you're one of the big boys in that league, right? For me, like, if I'm Alabama right now and I'm Nate Oats and I look at the last 6 games that I played, McNeese State, Purdue on the road, Illinois in Birmingham, and then Houston, Rutgers, and Oregon on neutrals, coming out of that 4-2, like, is not that's pretty good. You lost the true road game in maybe the toughest environment in college basketball right now to play in. You lost to a good Oregon team on a neutral court. That was your 3rd game in 5 days after I think it was 6 straight days in Las Vegas. They haven't played a home game since November 11th. It's been 19 days since they actually played a true home game in Coleman Coliseum, and they're not going to play one until you get to Saturday, December 14th. Their next game is on the road at North Carolina. He challenged his team. I think they figured out, like, we can't turn the ball over and we have to make threes or we're not going to win basketball games, right? I think he put some young guys in situations where they kind of got thrown into the fire, right? LeBaron Filan, for example, is a guy that got thrown into the fire, and he's been a little bit up and down. He was really good again today. I think they found something out with Mo Diabate too, RC. Like, that dude, he's tough. He gets the offensive glass. He gives them a level of kind of physicality and athleticism as more of like a perimeter, like big wing kind of a threat than just what Cliff Amore is. Cliff's like in and around the basket. If he's not within 5 feet of the basket, he's not doing anything for you productively. I think they learned a lot. Plus, Jaron Stevenson finally made a shot. How about that? He started 0 for 18, then hit 5 threes in a row. I think that might be my favorite stat in college basketball right now.
Offensively, I'm not worried about Alabama. They're one of my favorite teams to watch because the way we talked about it in the past. They just play. They get their guys in half. When they get in half court, they just play. They just know how to play. I thought they were a little off tonight. Guys were fundamentally making mistakes, jumping, passing, not reading and reacting enough. I think some of that is fatigue. Like you said, Rob, they've been all over the place, traveling, playing, hadn't been home in a while. The talent level there, they're talented, they're deep, they can overcome injuries or issues. But again, injuries are something totally different, particularly to a guy when you're breaking in so many young guys. Having an injury like right tool, it's concerning to see how. Let's just hope. I don't want to overreact because I don't know anything. We hadn't heard anything, but it just didn't look good. So let's hope he comes back. If he doesn't, health is the only thing I have about those guys. The one thing I would say concerns me about Bama, though, was that the inability to guard the ball, and we was expecting the defensive end of the floor with Clifford Amore on there being a lot better than what it's been. Like they're just allowing him to get to the cup. He's challenging shots, and when he comes over, nobody's cracking down boxing out that opposite big. So stopping the ball a little bit more. I mean, at the point of attack is probably something they got to emphasize a little bit more.
You know what I thought we would see more, Randolph? When you have a rim protector like that, it lets you gamble on the perimeter. They have some length and athleticism on their perimeter, and they are forcing turnovers on 14% of their possessions. I thought that would be closer to 20, and what that would mean is you get more, pick six layups, right? You get 4 to 6 to 8 points just out of getting a steal and going one on none, and get an uncontested layup. Are you worried about Sears? I mean, you're the scorer, you're the shooter, you understand that kind of mindset. I just want to go through this, right? The 3 biggest games that they've played, Mark Sears, 5 for 15 1 for 6 from 3 at Purdue. 0 for 5 from the floor, pulled himself out of the game against Illinois. They ended up winning that game. 4 for 13 against Houston. He was 3 for 14 tonight, 1 for 11 from 3. It's more than just a trend now. Like, this is like a 3-week thing where he's been kind of mired in this slump. He's your All-American. What are you doing right now if you're Nate Oats with him?
I don't think you're doing anything with him. You tell him to be aggressive again. I thought he was a little bit tentative, trying to be too much like a traditional point guard, you know what I'm saying, so to speak, just coming off, trying to get everybody involved, everything else. I just think he needs to go back and be what he is. Just be aggressive. Be aggressive to score. Somebody stopping you pass. I mean, they've been successful about it. The problem was, when you travel and play like that, you're not in a routine. You don't get a chance to get it. You don't get as many shots when you go live, because the way I would anticipate them practicing is going up. You don't get up a ton of shots, and you watch it all the time. Getting live, getting shots in the game. You get in practice. You're not playing as much this time of year. You get in tournaments like this. You don't even practice. Like, the biggest thing you're going to hear from everybody is when they get out of this, one way or the other, is win or lose, we got to get back to practice. We got to get better. So I'm not worried about him. We've seen it. We've got history with him. We know what his resume looked like. So my only thing is, I think at times he's a little bit too unselfish, and it gets him in trouble. I just think he needs to be a bucket getter. The rest of it, the system, the guys around, he's the guy. He's proven they'll react off him.